Welcome back, the old two-stroker YouTube channel. My name's Wayne, this is Scott. We're drinking some beers, working on junk. But not the junk behind us. Today's video is on this beautiful disaster right here. And what we're gonna do is, we're gonna pull our pants down, button up the bottom end, get some oil into it, and hopefully light the fire today. So stay tuned, I'm gonna take y'all with me. Let's get a move on. Alright fellas, well yours truly, their memory actually works, and I don't know if you could tell from the video or not, but I did leave these loose because they do need new gaskets. These are the oil pressure bypasses, so as oil pressure builds in the motor, those, if it goes too high, those release some of the pressure back to the pan. So we're going to change the gaskets there. We got to change the gasket or O-ring, I think it's an O-ring on the pickup here, and I'm going to retorque all the mains, the girdles, and the rods just to make sure everything's good. I want to dump this filter out and get a look at it, see what kind of schmooze in here, get a new filter in there, and oh boy, not any lighter than I remember it. Looks like 40 weight though, so that's good. Alright, got the new gasket up in there. Alright, let's get a look at what's in this fuel filter, if anything. There we go. Nothing. Huh. Interesting. Woo-wee. She is disgusting. Actually, not that bad. Really, kind of thought it'd be worse, to be honest with you. Look at the difference here, folks. Wow. Alright, after a brief delay of game, we are back. Thanks to my homies over at Capital and Truck Parts. We got the filter. It's a goofy hydraulic filter, which is why nothing fits. So I'm assuming they got the pressure jacked way up in the motor. It's 250 PSI, this thing. This is a 3 micron filter. And this is the Donaldson equivalent part number crosses. So we are going to fill this with tranny fluid and fuel, get it on the truck, and then we're going to drain the tank. Ugh. Wow. Ugh. There she goes. Ugh. Well, at least it smells like fuel. And it's darker than water, so that's a plus. Holy shit, boys, there's a lot of fuel in there. Thought it was empty. At least what we got in there is clean now. It ain't schmooey. Coming out, it's yellow. I'm confident all the water's out of it. So I'm at least not worried about running it on what's in there now. As I suspected, this is the hot side. I think. We're about to find out here the hard way. It is indeed out of gear. See if maybe it's 24 volts, because that sure don't turn over very quick. Negative, negative, negative. Freaking dodo. That's that. Negative. Go! Boy, that's heavy. Jesus, there's no reason for that. Guys, this special wrench, absolute must-have for doing these starters. It makes it so much nicer. I don't think any amount of hand jobs can really prepare you for lifting one of those starters in. Bingo. are a whore. Sick! I gotta check the oil pressure. I want to make sure we're getting oil pressure on that gauge, and if not, I need to get a gauge on it. Runs good. Sick. I am not mad at that, fellas. I can't believe that friggin' tack works. Oh, it's cable. Yeah, duh, because how else would it work? It's got no power, so. Boy, howdy, we've got a runner. So this isn't actually oil pressure like I thought it was. This is, it's got to be like either boost or something else that's disconnected right now down on the engine. That's actual oil pressure, and that looks really good, so. Wow. I am friggin' pumped about that. Look at all the shit it blew everywhere. Sick. So we had a minor leak from the oil filter, which I just retightened. Oh, probably that thing on the bottom's bad. I knew it was gonna leak there because I didn't change it. But then the other leak we have here, and this is totally my fault, is the airbox covers aren't even friggin' tight on it. So she's just cheeching out of there. So we're gonna have to tighten them up, and then we'll double check cooling system capacity, make sure it actually has water in it. I know it has some, which is why I wasn't scared to start it, but how much I'm not sure of. Well, at least these were tight, so that's good. It does have oil pressure, so that's good. Off camera this morning, what I did was I spent the morning pulling out all this N65s I just stuffed in it, because last year I kind of abandoned the project for the year, and I just wanted to get the big injectors out of it so that nothing happened to them over winter. And so I put them all back in. So you'll notice in a lot of the cranking that we were doing the other day, you could hear compression coming up out of the head. And that was because none of those injectors were in there like tight. I didn't torque anything down last year because I was like mildly frustrated. So that's a lot of that huffing that you're hearing. Don't do it no more. Because I went through both sides, torqued everything down, made sure everything was good. Once I knew we had the potential for it to run, I wasn't about to. We got coolant in it. Had a major leak from here, this hose up at the top. I think I've got that settled. That's where most of that coolant puddle was from. Unfortunately, it took a little bit to get that situated. But I think that's it as far as major coolant leaks. I didn't do myself any favors. It was a gallon low on oil after I had fired it and like primed everything. Put some oil in here and it just like ran right out of the valve cover onto everything there. So it's totally soaked in oil. That's good. The important part here is it's got coolant in it. I opened the bleeder, so I know it's like actually has coolant in it. So we should be good to get some heat in it. This some bitch is pissed. Look at the shit on the hood. All come out of them stacks. I can't wait to see that on the camera. Sick. People always ask me, how do you know there's oil in it, Wayne? That's how you know there's oil in it. Couldn't be leaking if there wasn't any in it. So how's that for a first start after 40-some years of sitting in a field in Florida? Ain't much left of it, but what's here runs pretty damn good. So next on the list is we've got to try to get the clutch pedal working. I haven't decided once I do that whether or not I'm going to try and break the tranny free. I'd like to get the fluid out of it just because I think it'd be cool to see what it looks like. I'm sure it's wasted. But then we got to get a tranny in this thing so we can drive it. The goal is to make this thing drivable this year. Whether or not that's with this body, I'm going to try to work around it if I can. And I'd like it to run in like yard drive and stop this year. Y'all can pop into our website, old2stroker.com. Merch is on the way. I'm still waiting on a logo to be finalized and some artwork and stuff, but in the meantime, the website's up. I do have some custom Peterbilt parts up on that website. Our mud flaps. They're actually sold out right now, but there is more coming. I'm waiting to finalize an order for that, but in the works. There is Peterbilt 352 and 362 cab mounts. As y'all remember, I was looking for some for Project Big Bertha there, and couldn't find any. Peterbilt don't make them. Nobody makes them. Well, now I make them, and you can get them here. So if you are working on a Peterbilt cab over from 1973 and newer, I believe, check the website for details, I'll have cab mounts, the rubbers for it. They're obviously a wear item. That's a lot of weight sitting on them, so kind of critical to survival of the cab. Also, what I have on there is Peterbilt speaker surrounds for my fit most 359s. I'm sure they fit other stuff. You'd have to look at yours and see what it takes, but I couldn't find anybody remaking those, and I like the factory look of the speaker grills in the 359 trucks, so I reproduce them. You can get them on the website. They are available now, as are the cab mounts. I'll let y'all know when we do get some merch in. Obviously, we'll do a plug or something silly, but we're looking for a name for this old rig here. So I'm going to need you guys to go ahead and comment down below. What should we name it? I've got a couple names in mind. I'm not really sold on anything yet. I'm thinking about calling it Climate Change or something like that. But I don't know. Put it down in the comments below what you think. Maybe that's a stupid name. I don't know. Tell me. Do me a favor, guys. If you like this kind of stuff that we're doing here, you want to see more of this truck get restored and brought back to its former GATR glory days, hit the like button. Lord knows it helps me out a ton. YouTube is doing its best to just bury me down the bottom and not show anybody these videos, but I'm going to bring them to you anyway. So that really helps me out a lot. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.